Hello everyone and welcome to the Digimon Ghost Game video. In this video I'm going to be going over my quick thoughts for the latest episode, and that is episode 9, Warped Time. I originally wanted to find a little Clockmon Digimon minifigure for this episode after reading the synopsis, but that was easier said than done, so you'll have to settle for a little adorable little Hagurumon to hang out with me for this video, because I would have had a Clockmon, but I couldn't. So Hagurumon evolves into Clockmon, so close enough, right? But in any case, so Clockmon shows up in this episode, so it's a nice little return, as well as we getting a great debut and cameo from Bokumon and Bakumon, who I would assume are going to be returning characters. A few months ago in a video I went over Digimon that I want to see show up and make cameos or become reoccurring characters in Ghost Game, and Bakumon was actually on that list. So I'm actually really happy to see Bakumon show up. So that's exciting, and of course, yeah, we get the return of Clockmon from episode 1. And something I really love about Ghost Game is the fact that we get all these returning characters as well as ones that are completely new Digimon, like Gammamon and his evolutions, and Jellymon and Angoramon. It's nice to have a mix between those old Digimon as well as the newer ones. So I really do appreciate that, and that's something I really do appreciate in Ghost Game. Something else I'm really fond of is that the animation quality doesn't seem to have dipped. When we were watching Colon, I noticed that the animation quality was amazing for the first few episodes and a couple of episodes here and there, but more or less it dipped after around episode 4. But here we are at episode 9 of Ghost Game, and the animation quality is still going strong, so big fan of that. As I mentioned, Bokumon appears in this episode, and we get him showing up in a lab coat, which Professor Bokumon's probably my favourite thing about this episode, and I liked a lot in this episode. So I also appreciate that Bokumon gives us a bit of world building and explains to us about how Digimon materialize and how they have the different states. We have the hologram ghost state and the physical state and the invisible state. So we get a bit of world building courtesy of Bokumon there as well. And it's nice, we kind of had our own little theories about how Digimon are appearing as holograms, but it's nice to have a few things confirmed about Bokumon, well, from Bokumon, about how Digimon appear. And we also learn a little bit about how there's a gate to the digital world, so maybe we're going to be going to the digital world at some point, so that's pretty exciting. So this episode has Hiro experiencing time skips, and he's just being late to things even when he thinks he's on time. He keeps oversleeping, and time is getting away from him and he's experiencing missing time. We learn that this is because of Clockmon, and then Clockmon then attacks Hiro when he's alone, and he was kind of using those time skips to try to get him alone so he could attack him. Then when Clockmon does attack, Hiro does this little world, like time shift, area shift. I don't think they've called it anything, but it's when they press a button on the VB and it goes to like the Digicourt's zone shift area thing that's going on there. And in that moment, that's when Gammamon attacks, and then Clockmon says how he just wants to just devour people, and this upsets Gammamon, and then he sort of half-dark evolves, and this half-dark evolution makes Clockmon's attack kind of get reflected back at him, and this causes Clockmon to, in a very, terrifyingly animated scene, of him just rapidly aging and falling apart, which is honestly kind of, terrifying body horror, and I'm kind of a big fan of it. It looks pretty cool. Anyway, so Clockmon's calling out for help, and honestly, when Hiro decides to help Clockmon, I wasn't against that. I felt like it was kind of a traumatic thing to be watching Clockmon just rapidly age and fall apart. So I was actually completely on board with Hiro deciding to save the bad guy. Usually in a movie or a TV show where the bad guy is asking for help and the protagonist kind of reluctantly helps them, it's sort of like, oh, come on, why would you do that? He's going to stab you in the back. But when Hiro does it here, I actually understand it. It seems like something I would have even done, because it is kind of gruesome. And it's just Clockmon sounds so pathetic when he's begging for help. I would have honestly helped him too. So after Hiro is able to save Clockmon by reverting the clock hand to go the opposite way, Clockmon decides that he's no longer evil, and he's kind of grateful to the group for saving him, which is kind of nice. And it's also nice that we get a Digimon that becomes good at the end of the episode by means other than just talking it out and being convinced that he was wrong. Clockmon just sort of says, okay, well, I guess you guys are cool and I won't kill you or eat you today. And that's kind of a nice way to finish off. And I don't know, I'm fairly certain that this is my favourite episode so far this season. I mean, of course, I hope that we do better next week, and looking at the preview, it seems like a nice Street Fighter reference kind of video game episode, which looks kind of cool. Hopefully we get a Tesla Jellymon debut. That seems possible, because it seems to be looking like a Kiyoshiro episode. But in any case, those are my thoughts on episode 9. I hope my green screen was okay. I had a huge fight with the green screen before. It just was not behaving, and I haven't changed the settings, so I don't know why it's being weird. But in any case, so those are my thoughts for episode 9 of Digimon Ghost Game. What did you think of this episode? Did you think it was terrible, or did you agree with me and think it was one of the best, or do you think it was just okay? Let me know in the comments, and I will see you on the next video. Bye!